Did you know? The latest batch of F-35 Lightning II stealth fighters delivered to the U.S. Air Force arrived with empty nose cones, no radar installed. To maintain flight balance, they had to be filled with counterweight blocks. This sounds like an absurd military joke, but it's the embarrassing reality. Since June 2025, all 17th batch F-35s delivered by Lockheed Martin to the U.S. military were missing the critical a PG-85 active phased array radar, leaving only bare radar mounts. Even more absurdly, the new radar is completely incompatible with the mounting structure of the older a PG-81 model. This means the aircraft can't even temporarily improvise with the old radar. The result, a fleet of fifth-generation fighters worth hundreds of millions of dollars, has become nothing more than expensive toys flying blind. How did this happen? Is it a technical gap, management failure, or a deeper project crisis? Today, we peel back the layers of mystery surrounding the F-35's radar fiasco. The story begins in the summer of 2025. Lockheed Martin delivered a new batch of F-35s to the U.S. Air Force as scheduled. These aircraft belonged to the 17th production batch and were supposed to be equipped with the latest a PG-85 radar, a core component of the F-35 Block 4 upgrade. Utilizing third-generation gallium nitride components, this radar significantly enhances detection range, electronic warfare capabilities, and weapon precision. However, according to internal sources, the nose redomes of these delivered aircraft contained no PG-85 radar at all, only a mounting structure for the radar. In other words, the U.S. military received a batch of half-finished products. The root cause lies in bottlenecks encountered during the PG-85's development and testing. Originally tailored for the F-35 Block 4, its design philosophy and physical architecture differ dramatically from the existing PG-81 radar. The PG-81 utilizes traditional gallium arsenide components with relatively straightforward installation. In contrast, the PG-85 employs more advanced gallium nitride antenna arrays to achieve higher performance, necessitating entirely new cooling systems, power distribution layouts, and nose structure support. Simply put, the PG-85 is not a plug-and-play upgrade for the PG-81 but requires a major overhaul of the aircraft's front end. The consequence, when a PG-85 delivery was delayed due to testing setbacks, Lockheed Martin couldn't even fall back on reinstalling the PG-81. The nose architecture was fundamentally incompatible. Forcing the installation would have caused the radar array to tilt, severely degrading performance or even rendering it inoperable. Thus, these brand new F-35s became blind fighters. Without radar, they couldn't autonomously perform reconnaissance, targeting, or electronic warfare missions. Instead, they had to rely on data links to receive information from other F-35s equipped with full radar capabilities, or airborne command platforms, effectively turning them into airborne drones. But flight safety had to be ensured, right? Engineers devised a makeshift solution, installing metal counterweights inside the nose radar pod to balance the aircraft's center of gravity and prevent excessive front-end lightness from affecting handling. The scene is nothing short of absurd. A fifth-generation fighter renowned for its cutting-edge technology forced to take flight by stuffing iron blocks into its nose. In this state, the F-35 is essentially limited to basic flight training or formation escort missions, with its combat capability virtually reduced to zero. Interestingly, this issue currently primarily affects the U.S. military itself. Foreign customers like Israel, Japan, and the UK mostly ordered earlier batches of F-35s equipped with the mature PG-81 radar. Consequently, Lockheed Martin's production line for foreign orders continues uninterrupted, largely unaffected. This situation ironically highlights an awkward reality. As the F-35's first user, the U.S. military has become the guinea pig in the technology iteration process, effectively testing the waters for its allies. Faced with this chaotic situation, the U.S. Congress could no longer sit idly by. Republican Representative Rob Wittman, chairman of the House Armed Services Committee's Tactical Air and Land Forces Subcommittee, bluntly stated in an interview on February 3, equipping this aircraft with the PG-85 radar instead of the PG-81 radar is a highly challenging task. He explained that the nose configuration is critical for the radar array's installation posture, and the structural differences between the PG-85 and a PG-81 are substantial. Everything from cooling channels to power interfaces requires redesign. This isn't something a simple retrofit can resolve. Whitman revealed that over a year and a half ago, he met with Northrop Grumman, the manufacturer of the APG-85, to discuss shortening the testing cycle. Originally, the APG-85's testing time had ballooned from the initial plan of 3 days to 78 days. Whitman stated that Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin later streamlined the testing process, eliminating redundant steps and striving to compress the timeline, but he still called for further acceleration. He also highlighted another critical issue. The APG-85 requires significantly enhanced power support, ideally around 82 kilowatts. The F-35's current engine output falls short of this requirement, which in turn ties into the subsequent engine upgrade plan. It is evident that the radar deficiency is merely the tip of the iceberg, concealing the systemic challenges underlying the entire F-35 upgrade program. So, just how crucial is the APG-85? As Whitman put it, this is an extremely advanced radar system. It serves not only as the cornerstone of the Block 4 upgrade but also as a force multiplier for the F-35's future combat capabilities. The APG-85's core advantage lies in its gallium nitride antenna array. This material can withstand higher voltages and temperatures than traditional gallium arsenide, enabling longer detection ranges, more precise target tracking, and stronger electronic attack capabilities. Specifically, it can more effectively suppress enemy electromagnetic spectrum activities, such as jamming radar or communications signals, while enabling precision strikes against air and surface targets during beyond visual range air combat. Furthermore, the APG-85 is deeply integrated with the F-35's Technology Refresh 3 software, and Tier 3 is a prerequisite for Block 4 capabilities, including enhanced sensor fusion, distributed aperture system integration, and new weapon compatibility. Without the APG-85, many of Block 4's promises, such as carrying a wider range of missiles and improving networked combat capabilities, would remain theoretical. Consequently, the radar delivery delay has directly hampered the entire F-35 modernization process. This means the U.S. military may face a disabled F-35 fleet for the next decade, some aircraft without radars, others awaiting upgrades, with overall combat effectiveness significantly diminished. Originally designed as an airborne quarterback to command the battlefield through radar and sensor networks, the F-35 now risks becoming the vulnerable, weak link, requiring protection. In hotspots like the Asia-Pacific or Europe, this capability gap could be exploited by potential adversaries, particularly as China and Russia accelerate deployment of fifth-generation fighters with advancing radar and missile technologies. Additionally, the U.S. military faces an internal dilemma: continue waiting for the APG-85 or adopt a temporary retrofit solution. Some experts suggest redesigning a transitional nose structure compatible with the APG-81, but this would require additional time and funding, a stopgap measure akin to drinking poison to quench thirst. Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman currently claim accelerated testing, but given the defense industry's historical track record, even optimistic estimates suggest stable APG-85 deliveries won't begin until after 2026. During this gap period, the U.S. military may be forced to reduce F-35 operational readiness or rely on older F-15 and F-16 aircraft for critical missions, undoubtedly eroding air superiority. Whether the F-35 can emerge from this crisis hinges on whether Lockheed, Northrop, and the U.S. military can truly collaborate to compress testing cycles, stabilize production processes, and re-evaluate Block 4 priorities, perhaps adopting agile development principles to deliver usable features incrementally rather than pursuing perfection in one go. After all, battlefields don't wait for perfect weapons, soldiers need reliable tools. So, how quickly do you think the U.S. military can resolve this radar crisis? And will the F-35's Block 4 dream materialize in the 2030s? Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.